Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teresa Conroy-Roth, and you're watching the latest episode of Lightning Leadership. With me today, my goodness, is Lynn Murphy. Lynn is someone I admire, someone I've had multiple conversations with on various aspects of life over the years, and I'm so excited that she was able to pull some time out of her schedule today to come join us. Lynn, welcome.
Well, thank you, Teresa. Yeah, this is so long overdue for you and I that I couldn't be any more excited that we get to have one of our conversations and share it with everybody else.
Amen. Amen to that. So we talked about, right? We've talked about just so many things over the years with regards to technology and the kids and life and, life journeys. But one of the things that always I love so much about you and just your leadership style is that there's always a human element. And I know you are one of the smartest people that I've ever met in my whole entire life. And you don't stop. You are like an Energizer bunny. So between, raising the kids, having a full-time job, excelling beyond belief into the C-suite, right, in technology, I truly admire just the person you are and the intelligence and the approach that you take. So let's talk about the human
Well,
element.
I have to say thank you for those
What?
comments,
Oh,
Teresa. I mean, obviously the respect and the feeling is mutual. This
well,
has
thank
just
you.
been a fantastic synergy and,
Yeah.
and 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 journey that we've been on together. And yeah, I appreciate your kind words and
Aw,
um, yeah, very
anytime.
excited. Yeah,
Call me up for a pep talk. It's all good.
okay.
Um, so let's talk about the human element on AI, right? There's
Yeah.
so much from a leadership perspective that's happening in the background with regards to companies and human skills and change, right? And some of those interesting conversations that we're having or we're setting up behind the scenes. Let's talk about just things that you've seen happen and things that you have to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I love the topic. So, I've been passionate about leadership my entire career, very early on since I was studying down at IU. And so that theme has continued and it is all about the people, which is
Yeah.
what makes it so important. But it's also easy to get lost in the day to day when it looks like a PowerPoint or it looks like a town hall, when the real aspect of leadership is what sits at the relationships, right? It's the trust that you build. And so, I'm also super passionate about technology. I think that's why I'm able to do what I do is, love people, love leadership, and love what technology can do. But can do for people with people at the center. And so, I have a lot of, positive outlook about AI and what it can do, but it is, change is always uncertain. But I think what fascinates me most about AI, and maybe what we're not talking about, because we always want to focus on the technology, we're technologists,
Yeah.
it's really about the fact that, it amplifies everything, the AI does, but it also amplifies the human element and the need for leadership. And I think, that will continue to play out as we go on this journey. And I'm super excited about it because it's going to put more importance, more focus on people and making sure that the technology and AI serves people and the human element.
So much of what I hear sometimes in organizations are there people are unwilling to embrace AI because they think that it's going to take away their jobs, right? Or the fear of I don't know what this is going to do. This is my data. I'm protecting my fiefdom, right? These are this this is kind of what I do,
Yeah, right,
right?
right.
Yeah, my fiefdom. Um, what are some of the key things that as a leader that you could have conversations with people about to kind of help ease their mind a bit?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think there is so much truth in what is one of the most anecdotal comments I think we all heard about AI is it's not AI that's going to replace your job. It is people that know AI. And
Oh
I
my goodness.
yeah, and
Oh
I
my
do
goodness.
I
Yes.
do, yeah, I do think it's a real thing. I'm seeing it, I'm experiencing it. I mean, you're seeing it in like almost every job posting. this is again what businesses need. So, helping people to understand and unlock, but meet them where they are. I will say, I've been enjoying kind of setting a strategy within our organization to be AI enabled. We're not exactly setting out to be an AI native or AI first necessarily, not at this juncture, but we want to get our people where they are AI enabled. And it's been so rewarding to watch people who it almost inevitably there's like this unlock, this aha moment where as they're starting to use some of the tools for the first time, like the something about it, the power, I mean, I had one of those moments, the power just unlocks of like, I get it now. And
Yeah.
if you can get people there, right? And we have a lot of conversations about the values and the integrity. We're a very values driven organization, which is again is really people leadership.
Yeah.
But it's really I view it as a responsibility for even if people they don't know what they don't know, but equipping them with AI skills. Not doing that almost seems a disservice, right? So I think it's another leadership imperative for sure, to be intentional. And one of the biggest challenges is carving out the appropriate amount of time and space to learn and put those skills to use, but to first learn the skills. We're running fast. The business
Yeah.
doesn't stop. Everybody has their day jobs. That's always a challenge, with training and change management, but now more than ever, allowing people to learn the tools, so they can somewhat decide for themselves how do they
Mhm.
want to adopt, how do they want to leverage them in their day-to-day work, and then ultimately, you know, that all goes to trust, right? So much of what
It
you
is, and it
asked about was
does.
trust
It
related.
does. Right, but I think there's so many. I mean, if you look at Microsoft or Workday or Salesforce, right, or even Oracle, those are tools where they're already embedding AI into them, right? The
Absolutely.
software applications are doing that whether you want to do it or not, whether you want to learn it or not. And so it's all around you, whether
Yeah.
it be, your cell phone, whether or not it be maps, whether or not it be, I need to find a restaurant or I'm going to, I need to put together a plan because I'm going to Ireland. you know, but to your point, right? It's all around us. And it's just a matter of who's embracing it or who's learning it and who's understanding it and who isn't. I
Yeah.
think it's a phenomenal point because it's there.
Yeah, it's here to stay. And again, from a leadership perspective, helping others to understand so that they can lean into it. I know there are a lot of unanswered questions. There are no experts. We don't have the answers.
No.
But again, encouraging your team and the people that you lead to lean into it, even if they're like dead set against it, great.
Yeah.
Get involved in some influencing the policies, like it's all being shaped, and the more voices we have leaning in to whatever the concerns are, the quiet voices, there's generally a valid point there. We really need all the voices in, so that it does get shaped so that it serves humans at the end of the day, right?
Couldn't agree with you more. Could not. And I think the other point is just the validation of the information that you're getting back. I mean, it's the AI is changing every
Yeah.
day, right? And so making sure that you're getting the human element, right, so that it is serving you. But more importantly, if there is something that's wrong, that you're not getting a smoke screen, you're not getting what did I hear yesterday? A hallucinogenic. It's the cold, the
Yeah.
hallucinogenic effect, right? Where it's just like, no, this isn't right. Let me go ahead and help it along to make sure that next time it is right.
Yeah, 100%. And there's so much that, to your point, that's evolving and changing. Definitely the hallucinations. I was also listening to something yesterday that says there's almost an effect that the more you use it and the deeper you go, it can actually get more incorrect. And there's technical reasons for that.
Really?
Well, I have to say I experienced it.
Tell
I
me.
was using one of the, I mean, it doesn't really matter that the tool, this was Copilot, but I think I was using Opus, a different LLM. And the more I kept asking the questions, it just kept drifting farther and farther away and becoming irrelevant and not useful. I'm like, okay, we need a timeout. We need to take a break. But it is actually an effect, and it's a new one, right? And so I couldn't agree more that, generally the more you use it and the more information you feed it, the better it gets. But there is also some new research that's come out that the more that you give it, it may actually go
Go in
off
a
in a number
different
of different
direction.
directions. Yeah, it kind of wanders. So
Well, I
I
think
mean,
it's
they'll fix all of that eventually, or it will get
they
fixed.
will.
But
But it's
um
but you have different applications, right? Whether or not it be Copilot or Claude, right? Or any one of the other ones that are out there now. You can ask it, each one of them a different question, and you're going to get probably similar answers, but you're going to have some variability
yeah.
on the answer, right? If I say from a personal level, all right, here we go. I'm going to do, 4 days in Dublin, and here are the types of things that I want to see. Maybe here's my age. Please don't make Andy, do 13,000, have me do 13,000 steps again, right? Those types of things. You're going to get three different scenarios of things to do and see, right? You really will. It's not going to, as a prime example, it's not going to give, everybody's not going to give me the exact same things
Yeah.
because it's loaded with different information and content, and it's pulling from different places. So, not that I want to walk 13,000 steps a day on vacation. But
Right.
it's been a long
Next
time with
thing
that
you
man.
know, you'll be on a
Hmm.
route that's, you'll be 20,000 in and going, what just happened? Right.
Yeah. Why do my
But
feet hurt? Yeah. Yeah.
well, I think it's a great, another great point, from a leadership standpoint is helping people to understand that, it's by far not perfect. Um, and so from that, should this be something that we're, worried about or concerned? And no different than any other change. I mean, there are changes that are disruptive.
Yeah.
But again, I think this is a moment where, if you're embracing it, learning it, and leaning into it, it's more of a risk if you're not, I believe. And so
I couldn't agree with
helping
you more.
people to find where they can, meet them where they are, more than ever, and prioritize that, right? And instead of it's our normal, I feel like there's been like a degree of latitude for leadership on, this is what is the normalization of how we operate. And I feel like AI is requiring us to operate, more on the ends. It's no longer like the 80% corridor. We need to be leaning into to the 20%,
Yeah.
which is not where we typically have spent our time, which is where we should, because that's the people, that's the trust, that's the values, that's the integrity, and you've got to have trust, for people to really, follow, and at least the ones that are not, they're not the leapers leaping into it, right? The people that are trepidatious, or people that just are flat out dead set against it. How do you get the trust? How do you lean into that? Because ultimately it will serve them best,
Yeah.
in the long run. So that's kind of where what's been top of mind is, it's all interesting and fascinating how fast it's all moving and what the unknown implications are. But, where are the people in all of this? Because that's where it needs to serve, right? The human, but amplifying the human connection. I think people, will be kind of worn out by AI. I'm already hearing some of that, like, oh, I can tell the email, somebody just put this in AI. And on one hand, there's nothing wrong with that. Be efficient, get your message out. But on the other hand, it shows that people just want to be real, right?
Yeah.
And have that human connection. And I'm excited about that. I even think like the commoditization, right? There's been so much that it used to be more, I felt like we have to delight our customers. And inevitably there's a company that comes along and finds that niche and will do that. But
Yeah.
it seems more and more that delighting the customer is in the rear view mirror. Commoditization has become the name of the game. So much so that I'm used to being able to say, well, we want to make it right for you, and now
Yeah.
it's no, this, you get what you get, and this is the way it is. Well, I think AI will bring, hyper specialization back is what I'm hopeful for,
Yeah.
right? Which only
Lynn,
makes being human even better.
thank you so much for joining us on Lightning Leadership. So, so, so happy you were able to join us.